So once you've gotten through all of that with the person that you're talking to, you also want to say the last person that we're talking to tonight, the last candidate that we're talking to folks tonight about is Senator Tina Smith. Do you plan to vote for Tina Smith as well? If they have questions about who Tina Smith is, you can say, Tina Smith is our current senator. She was appointed after Al Franken stepped down, and she is now running to keep that seat. She's a great champion of healthcare. She used to work for Planned Parenthood, so she's really great on reproductive rights, and she'd be a great champion if she gets to stay in Congress. So do you plan to vote for Tina Smith as well? And then depending on what they say, you say, okay, thank you, thanks for your support, have a great night. Click. So on your screen that you're looking at, you have a couple different options. One, it says it has different IDs for each candidate. So it'll say for the governor candidate, and then it'll say the drop down will be strong support, lean support, undecided, lean oppose, strong oppose, and then I think it's not voting and something else, but don't worry about those two. We really want to ID where people stand on each of these candidates because it's really helpful for us to gather this data going into the election to better figure out who we need to be contacting, where we stand, who's persuadable, who's not. So you don't specifically have to ask people, do you strong oppose, lean oppose, undecided. You don't have to ask them those things. Just based on your conversation with them, where do you think they stand? Some people will say, yes, I pledge to vote, but they won't tell you who they're voting for. So that's an undecided. A lot of people want that to be private information, so we mark that as undecided. If they say, Tim Wall sounds pretty interesting, but I'm still kind of doing my research, that would be a lean support. If they say, Angie Craig, yes, love her, voting for her. Tina Smith, no, I don't like her. Then you say, that's a strong support for Angie Craig, and that's a strong oppose for Tina Smith. So usually, a lot of times people will be pretty similar for all three candidates, but it is important that we mark that as accurately as we can. So, the last thing, we do want to get people to pledge to vote. That's on your screen, and that's important because if people talk to another human being, if they tell another person that they're going to vote, they're statistically more likely to go out and actually do it. So it's important to hold people accountable, ask them if they're planning to vote. If people do say, yep, I'm voting for everyone that you mentioned up and down the ticket, but they don't, you can say, okay, strong support all up and down, and that is also a pledge to vote. So hopefully I'm answering all your questions. Alicia and Lupe have done this before, so they should also be able to answer some questions if I'm missing some things. Another thing that may be helpful is, or maybe fun to do, is the phone bank bingo. There's all kinds of good things on here. You get some funny conversations sometimes, or like a take me off your list, or number been disconnected, funny conversation. There are some passionate people out there, so be receptive, be kind, and get those pledges. So I think that's everything. Happy calling. I will hopefully be down there for another phone bank in the future, so I'll get to meet more of you in person. If you run into any issues, Lupe and Alicia, feel free to call me. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you soon.